Hello and welcome to another special episode of Mindspeak presented by Herald Global. I am Saimik Sen and joining me today is India's industrial powerhouse with a dominant presence in steel, power, mining and infrastructure, Jindal Steel Power Limited. I would like to welcome Mr. Vidyaratan Sharma, the Managing Director of JSPL. So Mr. Sharma, thank you so much for taking out this time for us. First of all, I would like to acknowledge and appreciate for contributing in the national service to supply of medical oxygen to the country. So my question to you is, how do you feel about being a part of this national service today?
Yes, good morning. This is a great experience and we feel pleasure in serving the nation. Our chairman, Mr. Naveen Jindal, he always says that the people first. And with the same spirit, the entire organization is working today to supply as much as possible the liquid oxygen. We are now supplying about 100 ton of liquid oxygen every day. We can ramp it up to 150 ton if the need be. But today we are short of tankers. The number of tankers coming every day, they are in the range of about 70 ton to 80 ton. We expect that more and more tankers should come from different authorities from the different part of the world. We have been assigned the major responsibility to supply the oxygen to down south states, especially a part of Odisha and also Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, part of Vidarbha and part of Maharashtra, and down south in Chennai. So because we are southeast area of the country, we are in Angul, which is in the lower portion of Indian map. So we are in a position to service the southern states better. So we feel this is a very good exercise we are doing, and this is a service to the nation.
Definitely, very true. So, is there any way you are prioritizing this distribution? Is there any way you?
Government of India. Yeah. I got your question. Government of India has already made a nodal agency, and this is done through Ministry of Steel as well as Ministry of Home, and all of the chief secretaries, they are now empowered to allocate quota to different states. So what they do, they are discussing within themselves, and then the producing districts, the commissioner is existing in each and every district. Then they talk to the concerned district commissioner or district collector, and finally the trucks are placed through the nodal agency, which is driven by Government of India.
So there is no hiding that there has been certain lapse. So my question to you, with the shortage of medical oxygen rising cases, do you think there has been a communication gap between the government and the citizens?
I will not say communication gap, but there is definitely a time lag. The time lag is today the Indian, they put together, the entire country can produce 8,200 tons of liquid oxygen. And the consumption in the country is around 7,000 tons per day. But the exact amount of oxygen which is reaching, that is less than 7,000 tons. The reason being, the most of the tankers, their turnaround time is about 12 to 14 days. Suppose a tanker we fill up today, so it takes about 4 days to reach to Telangana. Similarly, any tanker what we fill up today, it will take about 4 to 5 days to reach to Maharashtra, and maybe 6 days to up north. Now, by the time the tanker is unloaded and goes back to the filling stations like Angul, so this takes about 10 to 12 days time. So what we have suggested to Government of India, to encourage the transporters to have 2 drivers at least per tanker, so that they don't stop for tea, coffee, lunch break or any daily routine jobs, and they can manage it very well. So this is one area. The second area is some of the tankers might be standing or parked somewhere. Either they do not have the license, or their license is expired, or they had some technical problems. So I think for a while, for 2-3 months time, Government of India should take a very lenient view, and they should allow the people to transport oxygen, even if their license is expired, but the tankers are in healthy condition, then we should allow them to operate. So if we take these 2-3 measures, one, we have to allow all of the tankers to move on the road. Number 2, the turnaround time of the tankers is to be reduced from current 10 to 12 days to 6 days. And number 3, what is most important in today's time, that whenever and wherever we find that there is a shortage in a particular district or a particular city, and then all of these tankers should be governed by the nodal agency through GPS. And their telephone numbers, mobile numbers of the drivers, that should be available within nodal agency, and it is a like war-like situation. And whenever they feel, they can divert the tanker on the road from one location to another location, wherever it is most essentially required to save the people.
Okay, so now coming to you, you have more than 37 years of OPEX, if I'm not wrong, okay, in steel, power, cement, and mining industry. So what have been the evolutionary changes in the industry?
You see, technology is changing every day. 37 years back, or 3 decades back, or 2 decades back, what we were, we are not today. So our thinking levels have changed. The intelligence level has changed. Automation has changed. Level 3, level 4 automation has come in the industry. Now the artificial intelligence has come in a big way, though people say it is artificial intelligence, AI. But behind this AI tool, a lot of intelligence has been spent so that you can work very well. But all these managerial tools are abundantly available today in the country and in the world, in the steel industry. So there is a big change in terms of digital era, in terms of artificial intelligence, and in terms of various tools available today, managerial tools available today, to make industry more and more efficient. And this is what the difference I've been seeing in last 3 or more than 3 decades of time.
Okay. So how has the pandemic affected the power and steel industry?
You see, it was blessings in disguise. What happened in the initial stage of lockdown last year, that is April, May, June, and this was very horrible. But we and JSPL found a way that we started exporting. And to our good luck, the ports were empty. China was buying a lot of steel. Spain, Turkey, France, Italy, Germany, they were buying a lot of steel because they had been passing through a very severe pandemic wave or corona wave. And this is how we continued our operations. And after seeing our operations running smoothly, our peer group also started exporting. So that was a good experience. And we could do the highest ever sales and highest ever EBITDA in first quarter of 2020, which again we surpassed in Q2, again surpassed in Q3, and again surpassed in Q4 of 2020-21. So last 1 year, I would say the COVID has given a lot of opportunities also. Rightly said by Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, that there are always opportunities during bad times. So I think steel industry found opportunities during bad time, and that's how the steel industry is surviving today. And I would say the profits are good, EBITDA level is good, return on investment is excellent. Of course, the input prices have also increased, but simultaneously the output prices or the finished goods prices have also gone up substantially.
Okay, so do you think as a country we could have avoided the second wave?
No. It is like a biological war. I will not rate that it was in the hands of government or any common person. What happens today if there is a chemical war or biological war, internally or externally? I'll not name that from where it came, how it came. That is a debatable issue. The whole world is speaking so many things. But for sure, the bacteria has come. And this bacteria, when we take this bacteria is a disease, then we are diluting the statement. When we say that it is a war, whether internally, externally, or act of God, then we can become more serious. So I don't say that government could do or government could predict it. It is a virus. So it is something. Till February everything was going very well. All of a sudden we found that in Maharashtra the case started increasing, and then finally Delhi. So two major cities of the country. One is the capital city, and the other is the financial capital of the country. So two capital cities, they have come under this particular wave or tsunami. Honorable Supreme Court judge, they have named it as tsunami. It is not wave. So this cannot happen overnight. There must be something behind it which we have to discover. I think Prime Minister Office, intelligence authorities, RAW or IB or other government authorities must be working, DRDO must be working from where this has erupted and how, what went wrong that all of a sudden two capital cities of the country, One is the financial capital and the other is the political capital. They are victim of this particular virus. So we cannot overrule, in my personal, we should not overrule that there can be a foul play. I won't say that this is a government failure. It is not a government failure. This is something which is beyond that. And we must discover, this is my suggestion to Government of India. This can be internal, this can be external, this can be natural, this can be act of God, whatever, but we have to discover it.
Okay. So can you tell us about the reverse auction process by Indian Railways and how does it help JSPL's rail business?
You see, Government of India has declared more than 30 lakh crore rupees as a stimulus package. Worldwide, the stimulus package is to the tune of about $17 trillion, which is declared by world top 10 economies, including Europe. So the $17 trillion are to be spent. And when you spend $17 trillion, then the demand for everything increases. Be it steel, be it cement, be it copper, aluminum, metals, or construction material or anything. So the demand increases. And when the demand increases, then the supply chain disturbs. When the supply chain disturbs, the price goes up. It is natural. So whenever there is an imbalance in between demand and supply, and demand is less and supply is more, the situation is different. When the demand is high, supply is less, situation creates havoc. I told last year in the month of April that after lockdown, the demand will outstrip production. And the same thing we are experiencing now. The demand has outstripped or outperformed the production. So the question here is, what is going on? How the world will settle? The second wave, or we can say the pandemic, or we can say anything which is biological, it is already in the air. If we stop the country again, like the last year lockdown, then demand will come down. But if the world does not stop, then demand will continue, because the $17 trillion world has to spend to meet out or to bring up the industry and to bring up the livelihood of the people. So no country today can afford the complete lockdown unless it is unavoidable. So I think time is good, but cooling down the steel prices or metal prices or any other prices will take at least 18 months to 24 months. IMF and many of the international agencies have declared the inflation rate will be ever highest in the coming 1 year. So this means they are contemplating or envisaging something in double-digit inflation. So double-digit inflation in the entire world, if it takes place, then you can imagine how the financial management will take place, how the people will live, and what kind of challenges it will throw to the international level. So we all will have to ponder upon how to combat with the situation. So we have to be very cool and calm, and we have to keep confidence in our government, and I'm sure government will tackle it.
Sure. So how do you think other industries can help in overcoming this situation? The way you are contributing, what do you think about the other industries?
The demand of the day, whatever you do, you produce maximum. If you are in a building construction material, produce 150% of your capacity. If you are a milk producer, produce 150%. If you are a component manufacturer, produce 150%. If you are a steel manufacturer, produce 150%. Demand has to be met out. Supplies are to be flooded. So that means more and more production. People, those who do not produce, they are adding a drought into Sahara. So this is something very bad. Government has brought a production link incentive scheme. It is an excellent scheme. Government wants to increase the manufacturing base. That is an excellent move. We have to handhold the industry. The bureaucrats of the country will have to cooperate industry in a bigger way. The hurdles are to be eliminated. The industrialists and the business people are to be trusted much more than what they were being trusted in past. They need a pat on the shoulder that they are the they are contributing in the nation's building. And this is how we can tackle this situation. More production is the only answer. This is what I can tell you.
Okay, my last question to you. What would you like to tell to the aspiring corporate individual during this time?
Yeah, so the aspiring people today in the corporate world, they must be having three major things. They must find out a difference in objective, mission, and goal. They must find out the one thing in their life. And the one thing today is productivity, not only production, productivity. The one thing today is the reduction in the cost. The one thing today, the reasonable profit. I'm sorry to say that today in the medical science, the medical professionals in Delhi NCR, I'm telling you, they are giving the online treatment or the consultants. Some of the doctors are charging 500 rupees. Some of the doctors are charging 1,000 rupees. And there are few who are charging 3,000, 5,000 rupees. This is not the time to charge 5,000 rupees or 3,000 rupees. We are depriving the needy. We must charge a reasonable amount of consultancy charges. Maybe 1,000 rupees or 800 rupees, which is not less. It is a quite substantial money. We are now providing oxygen to the nation. If we start charging double, triple, 400%, then we are not the right corporate. And the right corporates are built by right people. No company produces people, but we people together makes a company good or bad. So my request to medical science professionals, my request to the doctors, my request to the specialists, my request to the oxygen traders, my request to the concentrator traders, my request to the implements traders in any of the field, please be reasonable in price. Don't see this as an opportunity to earn more money. You must see this as a continuity of business and service to the mankind. And then only we can make the country of our dreams. Otherwise, we cannot. And let us have a full confidence in our Prime Minister. I tell you one thing, I'm just not posting or I'm not just praising him. He is the best manager to manage the disasters. What does he need? He needs our support. He is our leader. We must support him now. If we support him now, I'm sure he will sail through. If he sails through, the country will sail through. He's the best manager I have ever seen in my 37 years of experience. So let us pray that his health should remain okay and he should be in a position to deliver the expectations and he should be in a position to lead all of us in this bad time. Let us not condemn any of the government, whether state or government. Let us not say that somebody has taken a decision wrongly or lately. No, they all are doing their best. We have to trust them and we have to stand with them. That's all. This is my message through your channel.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. And once more, I would like to thank you and your entire team for the national service. I wish you all the best.